Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something you guys wanted to explore.
Oh, cool.
Community organizations in rural Haiti.
Interesting.
Have you ever wondered how people come together in a place that's been through so much?
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely thought about that.
Yeah, so we're gonna find out using Jennie Smith's book, When the Hands Are Many, as our guide.
Great book. It's actually a common misconception that poverty means people aren't organized, but in rural Haiti,
Right.
it's completely the opposite.
Yeah, the book really flips the script on that, doesn't it?
Definitely.
And we're going to look at groups that have been around for generations,
Wow.
as well as newer ones to see how they work and make a difference.
Cool.
Yeah, and we'll even touch on how they interact with the government and foreign aid.
Ooh, that's interesting. To really grasp what makes these organizations tick, we need to consider Haiti's history.
Okay.
It's been marked by colonialism,
Mm-hmm.
unfair labor systems, political instability,
Yeah.
but out of these struggles,
Yeah.
a powerful sense of self-reliance emerged among rural Haitians.
So these historical challenges actually helped shape the way people work together.
Absolutely. That leads us to conbit and cove,
Okay.
two traditional forms of cooperative labor that are super important in Haitian culture.
I'm picturing a barn raising, where everyone pitches in.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
Okay.
Conbit is all about exchanging labor.
Okay.
You help me build my house and I'll help you with your harvest.
Right.
It's like a community favor system.
Gotcha.
Co is similar, but often includes some kind of payment on top of the shared work.
So it's not just about getting things done. It's about building community ties too.
Exactly. These events are full of life with drumming,
Wow.
singing, and huge communal meals.
Sounds fun.
They're a celebration of community as much as they are about getting work done.
Yeah, work and fun blend together in a really cool way. Now, Smith focused her research on a specific region of Haiti called Grand Anse, and she found some even more unique groups there.
Right.
One is called atribisyon.
Mm-hmm.
What makes these groups special?
Well, think of them as small, tight-knit groups of neighbors who help each other out.
Okay.
They're incredibly resourceful and flexible,
Yeah.
which is vital for peasant farmers who might not have a lot of money but still need to get things done.
Like a mini support system, right?
Exactly. And what's really interesting is that membership in these groups is often passed down through families.
Wow.
So you might be working alongside someone whose grandfather helped your grandfather
Wow.
generations ago.
That's amazing. It really shows how deep these community ties run.
Yeah.
I read that they also have this fantastic annual feast called Ratchote.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us more about that?
Ratchote is a highlight of the year for atribisyon groups.
Okay.
It's a big celebration funded entirely through their shared work,
Uh-huh.
and it's a way for them to honor their ancestors and really revel in enjoying food together.
It sounds like a powerful way to connect with their history and celebrate their accomplishments as a group.
It is, and it has a deeper meaning, too.
Okay.
Remember, Haiti has a long history of slavery.
Right.
And the Ratchote Feast is a way for these groups to symbolically reclaim the joy of enjoying food that was once denied to them.
That's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Food becomes a way to both celebrate their heritage and defiance.
Exactly.
And now let's shift gears a bit and explore sosyete,
Okay.
which are the big leagues of community organizations in rural Haiti.
Oh, wow.
Society sounds more complex than the other groups.
It is.
What are they like?
Imagine a group that spans multiple neighborhoods and has a structured hierarchy with presidents, secretaries, and even queens.
Wow.
It might sound formal,
Right.
but everyone pitches in with manual labor, and they offer a wide range of services to their members.
It sounds like they're a blend of tradition and practicality.
You got it. They offer mutual aid during tough times,
Okay.
help resolve conflicts, organize religious ceremonies, and even provide entertainment for the community.
Wow.
They're like a social safety net with a touch of flair.
And I read that they're known for their unique music and performance traditions, too.
That's right. Each sosyete has its own distinct style and personality,
Cool.
adding a vibrant cultural element to everything they do.
Wow. So you got these different levels of community support in rural Haiti,
Yeah?
from small family-based groups to larger, more complex organizations like sosyete.
Mm-hmm.
They each seem to have a unique role to play in keeping the community strong.
That's a great observation.
And now we're going to move on to a different type of community organization,
Okay.
one that emerged more recently and is often linked to foreign aid.
Interesting. You might be wondering how foreign aid plays a role in rural Haiti. Well, that's where gwoupman, peyizan, or GPs come in. They're more modern community-based organizations, and they often work with NGOs and receive funding from outside sources.
So these groups are stepping in to address the bigger issues facing rural Haiti.
Exactly. Think of them as tackling things like farming, healthcare education, even political advocacy. They've got a really broad scope.
But working with outside organizations must create some challenges,
Right.
especially when it comes to keeping the community's best interests at heart.
Yeah, that's a key tension that Smith explores in her book. On one hand, these groups need resources to tackle these big, complicated issues, but relying too heavily on outside help can be tricky.
So it's a balancing act between getting the support they need and making sure the community keeps control over its own future.
Precisely. Smith even mentions the term beggar groups to describe some GPs that become too dependent on aid, and that can create divisions within communities.
It's almost like a catch-22.
Yeah, right.
They need the help, but it comes with potential downsides.
Exactly. And this is where understanding the nuances of foreign aid becomes really important.
Smith's book goes beyond just describing these groups. It also dives into the voices of the people involved. Did she find any common threads in how rural Haitians view foreign aid?
What's fascinating is that while many people recognize the need for assistance, they also approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Oh, interesting.
They've seen how power imbalances can play out, and they're wary of being manipulated.
They're not just passively accepting whatever help is offered, they're thinking critically about it.
Exactly. There's this great story in the book about a community meeting where a missionary was proudly announcing a new project to teach people about democracy.
Yeah.
And one of the older farmers basically said, "Democracy, that's when everyone has enough to eat and can send their kids to school without worrying about shoes or books."
Wow, that's such a powerful reality check.
Oh, right.
It highlights the difference between abstract ideas and the actual lived experiences of poverty.
And that skepticism extends to how aid is delivered, too. Smith quotes a woman who participated in a foreign-funded project afterwards. She said that participation basically meant carrying heavy rocks on their heads.
Oh, wow. It's a good reminder that good intentions don't always translate into actual empowerment.
And Smith also points out that sometimes foreign aid actually supports policies that harm local communities, for example. Some agencies provide food aid while also lobbying against raising the minimum wage or controlling food prices.
That seems so counterproductive. It's like offering a short-term fix while ignoring the bigger issues that keep people trapped in poverty.
Exactly. And that's why the work of these community organizations, the GPs, becomes even more important.
Right.
They're not just filling gaps, they're advocating for real systemic change.
It's inspiring to see how they're pushing for a more just and equitable society, even with all these obstacles now within this landscape of GPs. We see another interesting development, the rise of women's groups.
Yes. Gwoupman, Fama, Vanyan, they're called. And it makes sense given the particular challenges women face in rural Haiti.
What are some of the issues these women's groups are tackling?
They're focused on a wide range of things, gaining more economic power, improving access to healthcare and education, and increasing women's participation in politics. They're real agents of change.
I read that they use songs and proverbs as part of their activism that seems really creative and powerful.
It is. Smith talks about how they use these traditional forms of expression to raise awareness about their concerns, build solidarity among women, and challenge traditional gender roles.
It sounds like they're finding ways to make their voices heard within a culture that might not always be receptive to change.
Exactly. Smith followed one group called Zaman, and their discussions really highlight that tension between the expectations placed on women and their desire for more freedom and control over their lives.
It makes you think about how these groups are not just about meeting practical needs. They're also about shifting power dynamics and challenging deeply ingrained social norms.
You hit the nail on the head, and that leads us to a bigger question that Smith's research raises. What does it really mean to build a good society in the Haitian context?
Right, because the way we often think about democracy and development might not match up with what these communities actually want and need.
Exactly. Based on her research, Smith identifies an alternative vision of a good society that emerges from the voices of these community organizations. They're talking about economic fairness, respect for all citizens, access to basic services, and a balance between leadership and communal decision-making.
So it's less about imposing a top-down model of development and more about empowering communities to define their own path to well-being.
Exactly. And that often means finding ways to reconcile local aspirations with the agendas of foreign aid organizations, which can be a real challenge.
It sounds like there's a lot of tension to navigate there.
There is, and it makes you
Yeah.
wonder, are we as outsiders truly listening to and supporting their vision for a better future?
It's a big question to consider, right? Like we talk about wanting to help communities, but are we really doing that if we're not truly understanding their goals and priorities?
Yeah, that's the core message Smith wants to get across. It's a call for a big change in how we think about development and democracy, especially in places like Haiti. It's about moving away from those top-down approaches and embracing real partnership, where local knowledge and aspirations guide the process.
So what can we, the listeners, take away from all this? What can we learn from these incredibly resilient Haitian communities?
Well, there's so much to learn. First off, it's a powerful reminder of the importance of working together. These organizations show us that even when facing extreme poverty and political turmoil, people can come together to support each other, preserve their culture, and work towards a better future.
It's a testament to human strength and the power of unity, right?
Absolutely. It also challenges us to rethink our assumptions about poverty and development. We often focus on what communities lack,
Hmm.
but Smith's book encourages us to see their existing strengths, their deep social bonds, their resourcefulness, and their vision for a fairer world.
It's about shifting our perspective, seeing the potential instead of just the problems.
Exactly. And finally, it's a call for genuine solidarity. True partnership means listening to and respecting the voices of those we want to help. It means acknowledging that we don't have all the answers, and that real lasting change requires collaboration, humility, and a willingness to learn from each other.
That's such an important message that goes beyond Haiti. We can all learn from these examples of community resilience and apply these lessons to our own communities and the challenges we face.
So as you think about the different ways rural Haitians organize and support each other, consider which lessons resonate most with you. What can we learn from their examples of solidarity and self-reliance? How can we use those insights to make a difference in our own lives and communities?
And if you're intrigued by what you heard today, we highly recommend checking out Smith's book, When the Hands Are Many.
Yeah, it's a great book.
It's a really insightful exploration of a topic that often gets oversimplified or overlooked.
Remember, there's always more to learn and more perspectives to consider. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.